Speaking to Euronews, an expert pointed out the negative impact of harsh weather on soldiers and civilians and said, "No one wants to be on the front lines. Winter has only just arrived, but it has already brought a number of challenges to the Ukrainian war. Armies of both sides and Ukrainian civilians are also affected." Tyler Kustra, professor politics and international relations at University of Nottingham, told Euronews think the Ukrainian defenders in trenches. More than 1 million Ukrainian and Russian soldiers are currently fighting in eastern Ukraine as temperatures drop and winter conditions harshen. But this is the beginning of their concerns. Referring to of rats the size of an assault rifle shared by soldiers on social media, Kustra said that Russian forces are dealing with a serious rodent infestation as mice and rats crawl into their trenches, seeking warmth and food. Given that Ukrainians are just on other side of front line, I worry Putin won't be only pest they will have to deal with, he added. In recent weeks, various social media posts and reports have emerged purporting to show rodent infestations on Russia's front lines. This is a sign of increasingly unhealthy and degrading wartime conditions for troops on the battlefield. AFP recently reported that rats were chewing through the cables of important equipment such as heaters and internet devices in Ukraine's trenches, causing another problem. Morale drops in winter. By the way, fighting in winter is difficult. Lying trenches when temperature is -10 or 20 can lead to hypothermia in soldiers. Postdoctoral researcher Marina Myron, from King's College's Department of War Studies, told Euronews, adding that the lack of foliage meant they could not hide open. Extra fuel and appropriate clothing are needed to survive on the winter battlefield. She added, placing a greater resource burden on each country's military. However, both sides know how to operate in winter. It is nothing new, she added. Still, gloomy weather can take a mental toll on troops, especially when they're away from family and friends. No one wants to be on the front lines, so morale is falling. People want to be somewhere nice and warm instead of outside, Myron said. That's problem. You have human factor in both psychological and physical limitations of working in winter. Ukrainian soldiers guard a checkpoint on a main road in Kiev, Ukraine. Monday, March 7, 2022. Vadim Girda AP. The dominance of winter also creates difficulties for strategists in Kiev, making it difficult to advance on the battlefield. Muddy ground is bad for military progress, said Kustra, the politics professor. Slippery conditions made it difficult to move soldiers and tanks. Frozen ground works better. In addition to these inherent problems, he also cited statements by Ukrainian General Valery Zaluzhny in The Economist that the current technological situation means that Ukraine cannot muster forces for an attack. Th.